Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, we're going to be talking about the difference between weight loss surgery and fasting for weight loss. Which one makes more sense?
We're missing a piece of the puzzle. You start getting healthy and you just become a better person. We need to start focusing more on the individual.
Before we get started, I'd like to ask you all to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and click the notification bell so that you can be notified when I put out videos. If you're not aware, I want to make you aware of the fact that we have a newsletter that goes out once a week. So if you're interested in just staying in the know, being completely plugged in, and making sure that you don't miss anything that AHA has to offer, you can sign up for the newsletter. I'm going to be putting the link for that in the description as well as in the comment section. So if you're not on our newsletter, why not? So briefly, let's look at some of the options for weight loss surgery and the risks that are kind of associated with it. Gastric bypass surgery. It helps you lose weight by changing how your stomach and small intestine handle the food you eat. After the surgery, your stomach will be smaller, you will feel more full when you eat food, and the food you eat will no longer go into certain parts of your stomach and small intestine that absorb food. So essentially, they're going to rearrange your insides. Gastric banding, this is actually considered one of the safest and simplest procedures for weight loss surgery. So it's a good option, I suppose, but the weight loss that you get with gastric banding is much less. So in the long run, it's safer, but you're not getting as much benefit. I don't even know if it's worth it for the money or for the effort. Now, more famously, we have the gastrectomy sleeve. This is a surgical weight loss procedure typically performed laparoscopically, which involves inserting small instruments through multiple incisions in the upper abdomen. About 80% of your stomach is removed, leaving the tube-like shaped stomach in the size and shape of a banana. So maybe you want to have a banana stomach. Now, what are the dangers of weight loss surgery? Well, I would consider weight loss surgery to straddle that line of cosmetic surgery. Depending on your insurance company and your specific situation, it could be seen either way, as elective or otherwise. With that being said, even with cosmetic surgeries that are super common, people still die from them. I think it's important to know that that's one of the big cons to elective weight loss surgery. It's the fact that you could potentially die. Now, it's rare. It affects less than about 6% of people, but it's still something to consider. What's maybe a little harder to calculate are the amount of people whose lives are forever changed because either the surgery was botched or it just simply wasn't beneficial for them. Couple that with the fact that a lot of people still have a high chance of gaining the weight back after the surgery. The question then becomes, is it really worth it? I believe for some people, it is worth it. Definitely, it's an individual choice. Because of my line of work, I've been afforded some insight on the aftermath of these types of surgeries. I've heard everything ranging from it was the best decision I've ever made to I wish I would have never done that. I will, however, say that the overwhelming majority of people wish that they had never had the surgery or have some type of complaint. And I've had a very small handful of people tell me that they love the surgery and would recommend it to anyone. So hot or cold there. Lastly, one big con of weight loss surgery is attached to a question I get more than anything else. Will I develop loose skin? Now, outside of having another surgery to remove loose skin, I personally have not spoken to anyone who had weight loss surgery and then did not develop loose skin, so it seems almost inevitable. Next, we have to consider the price. What's the price tag for this type of surgery? It's going to range anywhere from $17,000 to $23,000, so this is not a cheap surgery to have. And then when you stack that against the potential risk, I think it becomes even less attractive. With that being said, I've had some people tell me they've gone to Mexico to get the surgery performed. One lady ended up in a hotel room and almost died. Now, I think about that and it makes me wonder how many people die from elective weight loss surgery internationally and aren't ever really properly documented or end up as a missing person. I mean, I know this is kind of a gruesome thought, but it's the reality. Like, it happens to people. Outside of the risk of weight loss surgery, what are the benefits? I mean, being able to forcibly correct your poor eating habits, whether it's the amount of food you eat or even maybe reducing or eliminating certain types of foods, I see that as a purely physical benefit. With that being said, most people, I would say, are emotional eaters. I know that when we think of emotional eaters, we think of maybe that 17-year-old girl who lost her first boyfriend, who was the love of her life. He broke her heart, and now she's an emotional wreck, and she's eating ice cream and chocolate and chips and anything she can get her hands on. That's not in reality what an emotional eater is, right? Emotional eating is a part of the conditioning that we get in this modern world. Just think about it. If a loved one passes away, you have a funeral for them, and the food will bring you dishes almost potluck style. It's very common. When your daughter goes to get married, you throw her a big feast. You have a ceremony, right? Let's say that you nailed that job you've been trying to get for the past 2 or 3 years. You're going to go out and celebrate with your friends. These are all forms of emotional eating. What weight loss does not address is the emotional trauma attached to our poor eating habits, which is why I think so many people who utilize weight loss surgery end up gaining the weight back. When considering bariatric surgery, weight loss can range anywhere from 47 to 80% of the excess weight. Your typical weight gain after the surgery ranges anywhere from 15 to 25% of the weight that was lost. So most people's best case scenario, you're going to lose about 65% of the weight you need to lose. And then in the worst case scenario, you're going to lose about 25% of the excess weight. To put this in perspective, if you're 100 pounds overweight, you're looking to lose between 25 and 65 pounds, but you're still going to be massively overweight at 45 to 75 pounds overweight. Now, I know someone's thinking, well, 45 pounds, not bad. If you've only got 45 pounds left, you could do the gym and you can knock out that other 45 pounds. The thing is, if you're using weight loss surgery in the first place, it's probably because you've been unsuccessful with traditional methods. Not to mention, these numbers look at the average person's journey holistically, right? These people don't end up losing the extra 45 or 75 pounds. They stay there. So the question becomes down to, are the cons of weight loss surgery worth losing 25 to 45 pounds? When considering all the earlier mentioned items, I think we can come up with a vastly better option for weight loss outside of surgery. I think at this point, it's important to remember that surgery should be considered a last-ditch effort, and the need to use surgery should be considered a failure, not the first line of defense. So what's better than surgery, you might be asking? Fasting. With water fasting, we see people losing on average 2 pounds per day. Now, if an individual fasts for more than 2 weeks straight, the average decreases to 1 pound per day, accounting for the fasting shrink week. The fasting shrink week is a 7-day period of time where the body shrinks and tightens. It's one of the main reasons why people who utilize water fasting as their primary method for losing weight don't deal with large amounts of loose skin, if any at all. Now, there have been whispers of 1 or 2 people dying from fasting, and I will say that that's probably speculative at best. Literally millions of people across this planet fast for religious purposes or otherwise. The weight loss you achieve with fasting can be maintained through proper dietary strategy. So it's important to understand that fasting for weight loss is one part of the wellness puzzle. But even if we look at weight loss surgery, dietary change is still necessary in order to be successful. So you can't get away from that. With virtually no risk when we're talking about fasting, if done properly, you've got a good chance of eliminating most, if not all, of the loose skin, and the simple fact that fasting is not only free, but it actually saves you money. In my opinion, this is a vastly better option that outweighs the dangers of surgery. Now, at this point, I believe that anyone who chooses weight loss surgery over fasting probably lacks knowledge and understanding. They don't really know all their options. So I'm hoping this video attracts the eyes of those who have been considering weight loss surgery to help you understand that there are better options out there. Okay? Fasting is literally 100 times better. You don't have to worry about any of the associated dangers. and you get way more benefit. Not to mention, you still have to do the same work with the dietary change and otherwise. With that being said, I hope that this video was helpful for you all. If you're new to the channel, make sure to check out some of my other videos. I do go more in depth talking about fasting, how to properly do it, what does the dietary change look like, and how hydration plays a large role in the grand scheme of things. If you all like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power, and I will see you all next time.